I looked up the acronym for EOC online, and it said, "Oh man, I don't remember now." I just had it in my head. I just had it in my head what the acronym meant, but I forgot, so I'm gonna have to look it up again. But I just remember that the E stood for economics, and the C stood for compliance, but I don't remember what the O stood for. I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't want to give the wrong answer, but I know it meant some form of economic compliance. Like I think it was like economic operational compliance or something like that. But I just remember there was spray paint all over like the wall where my bike was. It just there was spray paint everywhere that said EOC, EOC, EOC everywhere, just spray painted all over the wall. So I figured it had something to do with my bike getting destroyed because that spray paint was never there. And out of the 2.5, 3 years that I worked at Pizza Hut, no one had ever touched my bike. I had two bikes over that time span that I worked at Pizza Hut. The first one was blue and white. I sold it to Ivan because he said that he needed the bike. And I was like, well, okay, I'll sell you this bike. It's in really good condition. I'll sell it to you, and you'll have your bike. And then the second bike I bought for myself because I didn't need the blue one because I don't know, the seat, it just wasn't comfortable. I had that bike ever since I was in the 6th grade, but it was a big bike. So it was like, for him, he could use it. And so I asked him, to try it out, see if you like it. If there's anything that needs to be fixed, we can take it to the bike shop and get it fixed. No problem. And I mean, he never had any complaints until after he bought it. But I was like, well, I mean, we took it to the bike shop. You went with me. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. It just, over time, I realized with him, I'm not gonna go there. But anyway, so my bike ends up getting destroyed, and I don't know. I felt like at the time he might have had something to do with it, but I never said anything because the way things played out, like he claimed that, the back tire came out, and I was like, but you and I went to the bike shop together to make sure that there was nothing wrong with the bike. And now you're claiming that something's wrong with the bike after. I thought it was strange, but whatever. Anyway, so um, so he starts stonewalling me on Uber. So I leave him alone at this point, even though I'm sleeping in his neighbor's shed. I leave him alone at this point. Um, and at a certain point in time, I am able to, as time moves on, I'm able to get a car, and um, he basically, I was like, I'll get this car, and like, because me, him, and C at the time needed a car, and I got like this cheap 2004. I think it was like a Ford Focus or whatever. It was a black Ford Focus. And I was like, well, I can get this car on my own and get it put in my name, and, just have you guys pay me gas money and I'll give you rides to work, or we can all split it 3 ways. And, we both get the car. We all three of us will get the car whenever it's needed, and we can all kind of just switch out and give each other rides to work or whatever. Come to find out, C and Ivan both had enough money to get their own car. I was the only one that was struggling financially. Now, this was something I found out after the connection was over with, but at the time, I didn't know that they were that they didn't need the money, that they were both taking advantage of me and ganging up on me. I didn't know that at the time because the way things seemed, with C living in an apartment with her family, and then with Ivan living in his house with his family members, I just assumed that we all needed the money. So, anyway, so we all split it 3 ways to get a car. That's what we all chose to do. And if I had known that the both of them had money, I would have squashed that conversation and walked away and did it on my own. But like I said, I thought that they were my friends at the time. I was young, naive, so I kind of had to learn on my own. So anyway, we all got the car, and I gave Ivan and C both rides to work. And, they were both supposed to contribute their end to the gas, and neither one of them contributed their end. Neither one of them. I ended up being the one who had to pay gas money. I ended up being the only person to make payments on time. And there was a point in time where the car got towed. And this happened at C's job where the car got towed at. And I remember C having the car a couple times and parking in a spot. There was a no parking zone. It was either a handicapped parking spot or there was a no parking zone parking spot. But she had parked there many times and, went to go inside real quick and, come right back out. And, nobody towed the car. But it was just one particular time where me and C were in Ivan's neighborhood. And we were just sitting there chilling, and some cops came by and they immediately accused us of doing illegal activity, and they ended up arresting me and C, and then they ended up towing the car. And I strongly believe that he was the one that called the cops, and I strongly believe that he was the one that called the cops and was responsible for me and C getting arrested and the car getting towed and then having to pay like $900 to get it out. $900 that none of us had. And then it was another incident where the brakes stopped working. And then it got to the point where the AC stopped working. And like I said, these were not problems that I had to deal with the car before. The car was actually in very good condition. Surprisingly, for a 2004, it was like a 2004 Ford Focus. And it was, the paint was scratchy, but the car was in really good condition because I got it certified. When you get the registration, you get the oil change, you do all that. So, all of the reports that I've gotten back on the vehicle were in great condition. And I did as much as I could with the money that I had to keep the car in good condition. And it was in great condition. I had that car for almost 2 years before it started having technical difficulties. And it happened all at once. So someone had to have did something to the vehicle because all of the technological difficulties happened at the same time, and it happened at a very convenient time for certain people. So first the brakes stopped working. So when I was and it happened right in the middle of traffic too. I was driving one day, like I said, there was nothing wrong. The brakes weren't squeaking, nothing. But next thing you know, I pressed the brakes and the brakes started squeaking. And then the car took too long to stop. That was the first thing. And then I tried to pull over, but the car wouldn't stop. And C was in the passenger seat. I tried to pull over and the car just would not stop. And I just remember that it was so hot outside. And I try to turn the AC on so that I can see because the window started to become foggy. And I can't see, so I'm putting the windshield wipers on. And nothing, it's still foggy. Nothing's working. And then I try to press the little button on the turn signal so that I can squeeze out the liquid to for the car. But the car wasn't